So, Tun Sathit, are we facing a constitutional crisis?
I think so.
Really?
Yes. As we speak now, the Pheu Thai party is still not, there's still mixed signals from the Pheu Thai party. On one side, they want to go ahead with the Charter Amendment bills,
Yes.
which means that they will define the ruling of the Constitutional Court
Yes.
last week.
Yes.
The other side, particularly from the House Speaker, Kun
Yes.
Somsak Gesuranon, he sort of softened his stand a little bit today. He said that, okay, we will wait for the final ruling from the Constitutional Court, and then we decide later.
Why so? Because normally the Pheu Thai party and the speaker will go in the same direction.
Right, but maybe the House Speaker, he will bear responsibility if
Direct responsibility.
if the bill is passed the third reading, and
Yes.
then he will have to submit the bill to His Majesty. That will have. In fact, this is a major problem, not concerning Kun Somsak himself, but the whole picture is quite a mess actually.
But then the speaker would have to ask for the majority opinion in the House as to how to move on, whether to wait for the ruling from the Constitutional Court or not, because he himself alone, the speaker, cannot decide.
Even asking for opinion doesn't help that much, because you asked me whether we are facing a constitutional crisis or not. A lot of people say that anything ruled by the Constitutional Court is final. No one should be defined or challenge the ruling. The problem being that the Constitutional Court, in deciding to issue an injunction against the Charter Amendment, the process may not be right.
Meaning that the Constitutional Court is standing firm on its stand, that we have the right to rule whether you can proceed or not.
The Pheu Thai party said you don't have the right because the process was not okay.
So you have the two sides, the court and the ruling Pheu Thai party, taking different positions.
Exactly.
Now, who's going to decide? Because normally you would respect the decision from the Constitutional Court.
Right.
Now, the Constitutional Court's order is being ignored or defied by the ruling party. You have a classic case of
that's why we are
having
a constitutional crisis.
Now, how, according to the Constitution, would this be resolved?
There's nothing said
No
in the
precedent.
Constitution.
No precedent.
No precedent on this. In fact, the Pheu Thai party did have a point, because in the Constitution, it is clearly stated that anything like this should be submitted to the Attorney General office.
Through the Attorney General's office.
And then the office would forward the petition to the Constitutional Court. But the people who were against the Charter Amendment, they submitted their petition directly to the Constitutional Court.
Okay, so we have a classic case of stalemate and a crisis, because one would expect the Constitution to clearly specify who has the final word in such a dilemma. But it seems that the court stands on one side and those who are supposed to follow the Constitution stands on the other side.
Right. We have like a classic showdown between the legislative branch and the judiciary.
And this may not be the first. I think, in fact, there will be several kinds of stalemates, showdown between the legislative branch and the judicial branch. The Constitutional Amendment is one thing, but the Rongdong, the Reconciliation Bill also contains a clause which will bring up this point as to who has the right to decide, the judicial side or the legislative side. Now, this is only the first part of...
Just the tip of the iceberg.
Just the tip of the iceberg.